Sometimes the biggest mistakes make the funniest moments. Get ready to watch 25 people mess up like you've never seen before. The Instagram show-off busted. This teenager thought he was being cool on Instagram, but what happened next shocked everyone. In 2022, 17-year-old David Guerra posted photos showing off piles of cash, guns, and drugs like it was a game. He probably wanted attention, but instead someone reported him to the police. That tip led officers straight to him while he was out driving. When they pulled him over, they found a loaded gun, stacks of cash, and illegal oil from a banned factory. But the real surprise was waiting at his house. Police searched his home and found 3 more guns and over $115,000 in cash. For someone his age, it was clear something big and illegal was going on. David was arrested and charged with drug possession and having illegal weapons. He went from showing off on Instagram to sitting in the back of a police car. One wrong move online and his whole life changed in seconds. Drunk driver goes live. She went live while drunk driving. In 2015, a woman named Whitney Beal made a shocking decision after a night out with friends. Instead of just heading home quietly, she opened Periscope and told the world, "I'm driving drunk, let's see if I make it home." Yes, you hear that right. She was live streaming her dangerous ride like it was entertainment. Viewers were stunned, and some quickly called the police. Her own live stream led to her arrest. Because she shared her location during the stream, police found her swerving on the road before crashing into a curb. Officers stopped her, and after she failed sobriety tests, she was arrested. Whitney's punishment included a 6-month license suspension, 1-year probation, 150 hours of community service, and 10 days of weekend work. But even after all that, would you trust her behind the wheel again? The bank robber who couldn't stay quiet. You won't believe what this bank worker did. In 2019, a man named Orlando Henderson got a job at Wells Fargo in Charlotte, North Carolina. But instead of doing honest work, he secretly started stealing money from the bank. At first, he took small amounts, but soon he got greedy and once stole up to $113,000 in just one day. He even tried to cover it up by making fake papers and destroying records. But here's where things got really dumb. Orlando couldn't keep his mouth shut. He started showing off on Instagram with photos of huge cash stacks and even used the stolen money to buy a $20,000 Mercedes-Benz. That was enough to catch the FBI's eye. They started digging, and by December 2019, he was arrested. He now faces charges like financial fraud and theft and could spend up to 40 years in prison. His followers got a wild show online, but Orlando gave everyone the perfect example of what not to do with stolen success. Queen of tax fraud. She called herself the Queen of tax fraud. Out loud on Facebook, Rashia Wilson and her partner Maurice Larry weren't just stealing, they were stealing big. From 2009 to 2012, they used stolen identities to file fake tax returns and grabbed over $3 million from the government. But instead of hiding, Rashia started showing off her money online. She bragged about being a millionaire and even wrote on Facebook that she was the queen of tax fraud. That post alone was bold enough to make the police look even closer. What did she do with all that stolen cash? She spent it like she was in a movie. A $90,000 Audi, a $30,000 birthday party for her daughter, and flashy photos on social media made it clear Rashia was living large. But behind the scenes, Tampa police were already watching her. By 2012, they had enough proof to lock her up. Rashia was arrested, her luxury life came crashing down, and she was hit with a 21-year prison sentence. Her fake queen title didn't last long once those prison bars closed behind her. Instagram couple caught living a lie. You won't believe what this Instagram couple was hiding behind their fancy photos. Andrea de Lima, a businesswoman from Brazil, looked like she had the perfect life online. She and her husband Ronald Roland always shared selfies from luxury trips to places like Paris and Dubai. But behind those smiling pictures was a dark secret. Ronald was part of a massive money laundering ring tied to the Mexican cartel. Over 5 years, he moved around $900 million. And Andrea wasn't just watching, she was helping. Her bikini shop, it was just a cover for dirty money. Now here's the twist that brought them down. The couple kept tagging their locations in every post. That made it super easy for the police to track them down to an apartment in Aria, a coastal city in Brazil. One night, a special team kicked in their door and found luxury cars, designer watches, guns, and mountains of cash. They even had private jets. Ronald had been arrested before in 2019 thanks to his ex-wife, but only served 1 year. This time, though, after flaunting their crimes online for the world to see, it looks like there's no easy escape. Joke that went too far. He thought it was just a joke, but it turned into a nightmare. In 2014, a 41-year-old woman from the Netherlands did something really stupid. She posted a tweet pretending to be a terrorist, saying her name was Ibrahim from Afghanistan and she was part of Al-Qaeda. She even mentioned a fake bomb plan for June 1st. Sounds like a joke, right? But airlines don't laugh at things like this. American Airlines immediately sent her tweet's IP address to the FBI. Things got serious real fast. Panic hit her when she realized what she had done. She rushed to tweet again, saying it was just a joke her friend made, but it was too late. Police showed up at her home in Rotterdam, and she was accused of making a fake bomb threat. We don't know exactly what punishment she got, but her life turned upside down from one stupid tweet. This story is a big reminder, never post something online that could blow up in your face. Caught live on Instagram. He thought he was being clever, but his own phone betrayed him. Kevin Gaines Jr., just 20 years old, was running from the police in 2018 for stealing a car and some other crimes. But instead of hiding, he went live on Instagram. Yes, live streaming while on the run. He was showing off, talking to his viewers, thinking no one would catch him. But what he didn't know was that the police were watching his live stream too. Then came the shock. Right in the middle of his stream, a flashlight beamed through the window. Kevin's face froze, and his viewers saw the moment he realized he was done. He quickly ended the stream, but the police were already there. They rushed in, arrested him, and just like that, his live stream days were over. What was meant to be a smart escape turned into a live broadcast of his own arrest. Selfie that busted a thief. You won't believe how one silly selfie exposed a thief. In 2013, a burglar named Ashley Key broke into a house in Brinsworth, England. He stole more than $35,000 worth of stuff like a Rolex watch, special souvenirs, and even an Audi A4 car. But here's where it gets crazy. He also stole a SIM card from the victim's phone. Ashley, not thinking at all, put the SIM card in his own phone and took a selfie. That photo was automatically sent to the victim's friends and family through the contacts saved on the SIM. They instantly knew he was the thief and called the police. The next day, police knocked on Ashley's door and arrested him without any trouble. He was sentenced to 32 months in jail for the robbery. But Ashley didn't learn his lesson. While sitting behind bars, he tried to scare the victim by sending a threatening letter. That added another 4 years to his sentence. In the end, Ashley's own selfie made him one of the easiest criminals to catch in British history. TikTok prank turned criminal. They thought it was just a joke, but it got them arrested. In June 2024, 2 teenagers from Hernando County, Florida, jumped on a viral TikTok trend called the Door Entry Challenge. The idea? Knock on random doors and run away while filming it. Sounds silly, right? But these 15-year-olds didn't stop at one prank. They hit the same houses again and again, 4 times in just 2 weeks. The problem was they lived nearby, so it didn't take long for neighbors to figure out who they were. A harmless prank turned into a serious mistake. Instead of laughs and likes, the teens ended up in handcuffs. Both were arrested and faced 4 criminal charges. What started as a fun video nearly turned dangerous. They could have been hurt by a scared homeowner. This story's a loud warning. Not every trend is worth chasing, especially when it lands you in jail. Robbery with a smile. He walked in like a customer. You won't believe how calm this bank robbery was. In 2015, a 23-year-old man named Dominic Alino walked into a bank, not with a gun, but with a smile. He passed a note to the teller asking for $15,000 and politely told them not to press the alarm until he left. He even ended the note with a smiley face. The teller, scared that things could get worse, gave him the money. Dominic quietly walked out with the cash like nothing happened. Then he posted it online. Here's where it gets crazier. Dominic shared the robbery note and videos of the whole thing on Instagram. When police caught him the same day, he said he wasn't really robbing the bank because he just asked nicely. He believed it would help his music career and even hoped Jay-Z would notice him. But his plan backfired badly. Instead of fame, he got nearly 3 years in prison. That smiley face didn't save him, just made the whole thing even more bizarre. The mafia chef caught on camera. You won't believe this. A police officer in Italy was just relaxing late at night, watching cooking videos online. Suddenly, he noticed something strange about one of the chefs. The tattoo on the chef's arm looked really familiar. That's when the officer realized this was Marc Franclot BR, one of Italy's most wanted criminals, hiding in plain sight. Marc had been running from the law since 2014 for smuggling drugs all over Europe. But here's the crazy part. By 2021, Marc was living quietly in the Dominican Republic, teaching cooking classes and hiding his face. The tattoo was the only clue that gave him away. Thanks to the sharp eyes of that officer, Marc was finally caught after years on the run. Nobody knows the name of his cooking channel, but you have to wonder, what was Marc cooking that made him risk everything to share it with the world? The ice bag jaw trap. You won't believe what happened to this woman. Her jaw got stuck inside a plastic bag of ice. Yes, really. Somehow she ended up biting the bag and got her jaw wedged so tight she couldn't free herself. It sounds crazy, but sometimes when we rush or don't think ahead, weird accidents like this happen. This story is a funny but painful reminder to slow down and be careful. Maybe she was just too excited for some ice cream or didn't think about the ice bag's danger. Either way, a little patience could have saved her from a big chilly mess. Next time, watch out for ice bags. They might trap more than just cold. The pink face disaster. You won't believe what happened when a woman tried a crazy new skincare trick in 2017. She thought she found a clever hack and covered her face with bright pink poster paint. The label said it would wash off easily, so she thought no problem. But things quickly got out of control when she couldn't get the paint off no matter what she tried. After struggling a lot, she got really frustrated and shared her messy story on Twitter, even threatening to sue the company. But come on, she painted her face with poster paint. That's not exactly a smart move. Hopefully she was joking and learned her lesson. This was definitely one of those ideas that went way wrong. The hairbrush fail. TikTok tricks can look fun, but sometimes they go very wrong. Lissy Poo found this out the hard way when she tried a popular hair hack using a hairbrush the wrong way. She didn't realize the brush wasn't made for that, and soon things got out of hand fast. The worst part? She was driving while the brush got stuck in her hair, and she even filmed it. It was so bad she had to call her mom for help. Together, they used pliers to finally free her. So next time you see a crazy hack online, think twice before trying it yourself. The sock tanning disaster. She thought she was being clever when she ran out of her tanning mitt and grabbed her boyfriend's black socks instead. Sounds like a smart hack, right? But using socks to apply self-tanner turned into a total mess. The socks soaked up the tanning lotion, and she didn't even tell her boyfriend what she did. Big mistake. The next day, her boyfriend put on those same socks and got a weird brownish-green stain all over his feet. The tanning product left a strange color that was impossible to miss. This funny story shows why it's always better to use the right tools and never borrow someone's clothes without telling them first. The hoodie heist failed. You won't believe how one thief tried to sneak a quick steal but ended up failing big time. Instead of using a proper mask, he just pulled a t-shirt over his head to hide his face while stealing a package from his neighbor's doorstep. Sounds clever, right? Well, not really. His eyes were still showing and the whole thing was caught on a security camera. The funniest part? He lived super close to the neighbor, so the police found out who he was really fast. This thief thought a t-shirt hood would do the trick, but it only made him look silly and easy to catch. Next time, if someone tries stealing, they should definitely think twice about their disguise. The bank robber's YouTube mistake. Though some criminals just can't help but brag, and Hannah Sabata took it way too far. At only 19 years old in 2012, she posted a YouTube video confessing to robbing a bank. With the song Warning by Green Day playing, she showed handwritten signs telling her story, held up stolen money, and even flashed the keys to a stolen car. She thought it was cool to share, but it quickly blew up, getting millions of views. But this wasn't the kind of fame she wanted. The police saw the video and caught her fast. They found out she robbed the Cornerstone Bank in Waco and stole a Pontiac Grom. Hannah was arrested and later got sentenced to 10 to 20 years in prison. Her bragging didn't make her famous, it ruined her life instead. The tattoo mistake. She wanted a tattoo that said weirdo on her knuckles, but things went sideways fast. Instead of the full word, she told the tattoo artist to write just we, thinking it was right. When the artist tried to stop her and suggested checking the spelling, she stubbornly said, "Look in the dictionary, not on your phone." The artist gave in to avoid a fight, but fixed the mistake anyway. In the end, the tattoo looked correct, but everyone was confused by her stubbornness. Was it all a joke? Maybe. But this story shows how a small mistake and refusing to listen to experts can become a permanent lesson you can't erase. Sometimes it's better to trust others than stick to your own wrong ideas. The dangerous gas bottle experiment. Some people just can't stop themselves from trying risky things they don't really understand. One person decided to mess with a gas bottle right inside their kitchen. Yes, a place full of flames and small spaces. It was like waiting for a disaster to happen, and guess what? It did. The pictures show how unsafe the whole setup was and how much danger this person put themselves in without even thinking about the risks. This story is a clear warning. Some jobs are best left to experts who know what they're doing. With all the safety tools and knowledge we have today, there's no need to take chances that could end badly. Sometimes thinking ahead and knowing your limits can save your life. The most creative prison escape attempt. You won't believe this wild prison story. Benjamin Schreiber, locked up in Iowa State Prison, came up with a crazy idea to get out. He said his heart stopped for a moment because of a health problem, so technically he died, and if he died, he argued he should be free because he already finished his life sentence. Sounds like a tricky loophole, right? But it didn't work out the way he hoped. Here's the catch. Benjamin's heart did stop, but the doctors brought him back to life. His clever plan fell flat because the law didn't buy his argument. The prison officials laughed off his story, and Benjamin stayed behind bars. Still, you have to admit, his imagination was something else. Sometimes people try the wildest tricks just to avoid paying for what they did. The tree cutting disaster. Some jobs look easy, but they can turn into big problems fast. One day, someone thought, I can cut down this tree myself without calling a professional. They grabbed a chainsaw and started cutting. But right away, things went wrong. The tree didn't fall where they wanted it to. Suddenly, the tree crashed onto a fence, breaking it and making the neighbor very upset. This mess shows why some work, especially with dangerous tools, should only be done by experts. Trying to do it alone can cause trouble, and this person learned that lesson the hard way. Pumpkin trouble. Halloween is all about fun and spooky tricks, but this one girl's prank took a funny turn no one expected. She put a pumpkin on her head just for laughs, but the joke quickly turned serious when the pumpkin got stuck. No matter how hard she tried, she couldn't get it off, and soon she started to panic. Her dad rushed to help, trying all kinds of clever tricks to free her from the pumpkin trap. It wasn't easy, and it took some time before they finally got the pumpkin off. In the end, she was okay, but this silly moment showed how a simple idea can quickly turn into a big problem. Next time, maybe the pumpkin should stay on the porch, not on your head. The microwave disaster. Jay thought it would be a crazy idea to put his head inside a microwave for a Christmas challenge, but he didn't stop there. He wrapped his head in plastic and poured a fast-drying substance inside. Suddenly, the substance hardened and blocked his air, trapping him. What started as a wild stunt quickly turned into a real emergency. His friends panicked and couldn't get him out, so they called firefighters and paramedics to help. It took a lot of time and effort to save Jay from this dangerous mess. Luckily, he wasn't hurt badly, but their YouTube channel had to shut down because they kept doing reckless things. This story shows how pushing stupid challenges too far can end badly. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more crazy moments like these. See you next time.